start list of the B race in the men's mixed 4x400 meters.
Set.
Well, just a reminder, the stagger won't unwind until the second leg runners have gone past the checkpoint after the first bend. At this stage, it's Turkey running well. Ilyas Kanaki making up a lot of ground on Andreas Grimerud on his outside, also running well. Czech Republic's Matej Krysak, who we saw had a good run in the individual 400 meters. Coming through very strongly over the last 100 meters, it's Lionel Spitz. Spitz, very good 400 meter runner. So it's the Swiss that hand over first. Lionel Spitz to Julia Sen. Also running well on the inside, the Czech Republic, and they've in fact got themselves up in front, the Czech Republic, thanks to a good first half a leg from Teresa Petrisilakova. And it's Czech Republic and Switzerland out in front. Halfway through the second leg, Petrisilakova controlling proceedings. Sen though on her shoulder, and then a little way back to Henriette Jaeger of Norway. Camille Laus though closing down the Norwegian in front of her. Camille Laus having a good leg, the 2:01 800 meter runner. But it's Czech Republic in front. Now Vit Muller. The very good 400 meter hurdler, taking over. Ricky Petrocchiani, we've seen a lot of at European events in the last few years. It's coming through very strongly, Ricky Petrocchiani. Switzerland have a very good men's 4x400 meter team with Spitz as well. So it's Muller, followed by Petrocchiani. Belgium still holding third place with the very experienced Dylan Borlée, who's won many medals in Belgian 4x400 meter relay teams. Muller grimacing, but he does hand over in front to Lada Vondrova. Oh, and there's tumbling there, all sorts of chaos between the Finns and the Swedes. We'll unravel that later. That doesn't affect what's happening at the front though. Cynthia Belongo has really got up and is now motoring past her rivals. Belongo has just sped past Vondrova, the Norwegian, Eriksson, and tagged on the back there. It's the Swiss runner, Julia Niederberger, and Belongo just came out of that changeover and just went straight past the three women in front of her. But Lara Vondrova has got something in the tank still. Can Cynthia Belongo? Well, Belongo looks as though she's tying up. Belongo just had her first race over one lap of the track this year in the individual 400 metres, but Lara Vondrova comes through. 3:12.35 unofficially, and a championship record. And that also puts the Czech Republic up to 5th on the European all-time list. And big celebrations for Czech Republic.
And then you had this three-way battle at the front. And there is the baton going over for this final leg, in which Vondrova, the Czech Republic, and Belongo were particularly strong.
And this is the chaos with Sweden and Finnish runners falling to the track. Greece also, we didn't see what happened to the Greeks, but they were well out of it from the very early stages. Lada Vondrova gritting her teeth, the epitome of determination. She's not going to let this go. Czech Republic safe in the top flight of the European Athletics Championship. A pride at stake here, and she flies back past Cynthia Belongo, who did such a lot of hard work over the first 300 metres. There indeed are the results. Czech Republic, 3:12.34, national record and a championship record for the Czechs, followed home by Belgium and Switzerland.
Right, so this is the A-race list. but I think this is one of the events where A and B might not matter quite as much. Bear in mind that time, 3:12:34 for the Czech Republic. So keep your eyes peeled. Portugal, France, Spain, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Poland, Germany, the Netherlands and Italy in this final event of the European Athletics Team Championships, and one of the loudest roars of the competition to get these athletes going. So who should be strong on this first leg? Well, potentially the European medalist Alex Haydock-Wilson for Britain, but looks like Isaiah Boas going well for the Netherlands, of course, as the stagger continues until that second leg. Spain with Inaki Kanyal, another individual performer. So who will have the lead once they begin to hug the inside with our second set of runners? Eduardo Scotti, though, really saving something for the end of this 400. He'll hand over to Ayamide Folarunso. You can see the experienced Anna Kilbashinska, who was in the 200 earlier today for Poland, who are a little way back at this point. But you can always count on Natalia Kazmarek in the relay or over the individual one lap. Of course, she had a brilliant battle with Femke Bol in the women's 400, and Bol, new championship record, 49.86, but she not part of this relay. Some exciting young names instead, and Netherlands have one of those, Zoe Sebny, on this leg as they all begin to close together. This is so excitingly poised, and Katja Azevedo of Portugal hits the front with Folarunso of Italy alongside her. Well, this is going to be some race. So Sibilio, who won the 400 hurdles, now out front for Italy, with Ricardo dos Santos of Portugal with a baton in second place. Then it's Theo Andon. Brody Young of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, a big improver based on time this year, but less experienced in the relay. He did win the European Under-20 title 2 years ago. As we see the Netherlands just beginning to drop off a little with Terence Agard. In fact, I'll say drop off rather a lot. So the crowd now waiting with big anticipation. One leg to go. Andant, who was some way back in 4th, 5th place, saved something to the last, but fumbled with the baton a bit to Brossier. So that allows Anna Pollinari of Italy a clean run through. Agard looks to be hurting there. Hope he's okay. So Italy, France, Great Britain, Portugal have dropped back, and then the Polish. Round this final bend, Pollinari still for Italy, Brossier, and then Macaulay for Great Britain, but they've all got to watch for Natalia Kazmarek. Inside the Stadion Slaski, in front of a home crowd, Kazmarek surely round the outside, all the way into lane 3. Perhaps it was inevitable, as Poland take victory in the final event in 3:12:17. But it's half a second slower than the Czech Republic. 3:12:3 for them. Absolutely extraordinary.
But there we go. That is the concluding stages here at the mixed 4x4, and the stadium came to life. The noise was roaring. Natalia Kazmarek down the track. She set her 400-meter personal best here last year. She was good in the individual. Perhaps getting on terms with Femke Bol was beyond many people this weekend in the individual event. But Natalia Kazmarek was cool and calm under pressure for the Polish squad. They are Olympic champions, and they've shown their class here in winning this A race. Yes, they were half a second slower than the Czech Republic, but there was severe traffic going on. But then you've got to say, you've left yourself in that traffic. You've got to have to navigate it. As the Czech Republic, it was a bit more spread out for them.
Yeah, look, I mean, ultimately, it was a grandstand finish.
Wonderful battle remaining with the very last event of the competition, the mixed 4x400 metres. As always, with 4x400 metre running, the break for the inside doesn't come until into the second leg. At this stage, Estonia running well, so too the Slovak Republic. Iceland also on towards the inside lanes, running well as well at the moment. But Estonia, a good opening leg from the Estonian lead-off runner, Lukas Lessel. Well, the stagger won't unwind until we're coming off the first bend of the second leg. Well, good handover from Lukas Lessel to Viola Hambridge. And it's the three teams on the outside. Bulgaria, Estonia and Slovak Republic are leading the way at the moment. Serbia a little bit further back. Bulgaria's Andrea Savova now with a clear lead heading into the 200-metre mark on this second leg. She's been chased though by Gabriela Gazneva. Gazneva got good points in the 800 metres earlier, and it's the Slovak runner coming around, and she's got good 400-metre speed. Hambridge coming back as well at the tiring Bulgarian. Serbia coming back strongly on this second leg. This is going to be a really tight changeover, but it's Slovak Republic in front at the moment. Simon Buna in front. Well, Buna very quickly has put a good 12 metres between himself and Rasmus Margi, but Rasmus Margi, a great relay runner as well as a great hurdler, and Margi now starting to bring back that deficit, still keeping track in third place. The Serbian doing extremely well at the moment. Ivan Markovic having a good third leg as well. So Bruni at the front, and now Margi just finds another gear, flies past his Slovak rival, and it's Margi handing over in front to his compatriot Mariella Klimajer, and we saw Klimajer get good points in the individual 400 metres as well. Klimajer being chased by Alexandra Beskova. Klimajer, you can see there with that head-on shot, Klimajer looking up at the big screen. She can sense Beskova behind her. She knows where Beskova is. 200 metres to go for Estonia in this first of two races in the mixed 400 metres, and it's looking at this stage as Klimajer comes into the home straight. It's looking as though Estonia are going to take the victory in this first race. 5 metres back to Beskova. The Slovak runner is starting to close. She's coming home very quickly. Klimajer is tiring, but takes the win by about 2 metres. It's Estonia and Slovakia. That's the 1 and 2 in this B race.
It's a very nervous look from Mariella Klimajer over her shoulder. Vesikova was hunting her down in the final closing stages of this mixed 4x4, but Estonia do hold on for the win. That slow-mo replay was revealing as well between Hambridge and Margi with their changeover. It nearly didn't work, and that does happen in the 4x4.
So there's the confirmed result. Estonia winning in national record of 3:19.47, just holding off Slovak Republic 3:19.84, and Serbia third 3:21.84.
We'll see those full mixed 4x4 relay quartets as the second division is about to come to a close. A few nervous looks, a few smiles. Let's see how this one will play out, with Latvia, Croatia, Denmark, Romania, Hungary, Slovenia, Ukraine and Lithuania. So it all comes down to this as far as the second division is concerned. And let's watch to see how hard Slovenia will go out on this opening leg. It's a time for experience and cool heads as far as they're concerned, because there is some real talent in their team on this final action of these championships. So Lithuania, actually the better of the two perhaps, on the outside as we wait for this stagger to unwind. We also know that Romania will be strong with Miklos on that final leg. And what about Ryzhikova as well for Ukraine, who might have thought by this point that they will be chasing down Hungary. But the Hungarians have just done a stellar job right from the opening session of these championships. It really has been thrilling stuff. There have been no bad performances from the Hungarians. So solid. Right, so Zupin, also another great four hurdler, in second place. But the Lithuanians at this point hanging on by one position, 3.5 points, 3 places between them at the moment. It is very close and tense stuff here as we head on to this next leg.
Dreadful changeover by the Ukrainians there. They must have lost about 3 meters on Romania.
So Robert Page of Romania with the shades on, keeping his cool, but look at the Lithuanian. He can see the bright green in front of him of Slovenia. But still, at this point in time, Lithuania are holding on by the skin of their teeth. Ryzhikova receives the baton for Ukraine. Miklos in second. This could be a fast final leg, and you just wonder whether Slovenia are going to have enough. Modesta Justa Moravskaita, another who over the years has been brilliant at the European Athletics Team Championships, and she charges her way through. And now Horvat right in front of her, and that exactly is what the Slovenians do not want. I can see that in bright yellow, Lithuanians already started to jump up and down. Miklos, who won the individual 400, no surprise to see her leading Romania home, and battles in front, but this is going to be enough for Lithuania as Slovenia come through across the line from Romania, Ukraine, but all importantly from Modesta Justa Moravskaita of Lithuania. And look at that, all their faces, they're looking round. Have we done it? They have. And there is so little in it, Hannah.
I think there's half a point in that. I think there was a 3.5 point advantage for Lithuania, and the sprint going on there between Horvat and Moravskaita. They knew exactly what was at stake, and it wasn't quite enough. And great to see Moravskaita celebrating as well. Injury-plagued winter and start to her summer. She started her season here in Silesia at the European Team Championships with a great individual 400.
And then the Slovenians desperately trying to put enough distance between themselves and the Lithuanians, but Lithuania just hang on. What a terrific finale. That really was an exciting end to things, and I think we're going to have a lot of excitement. We'll stay with the Division 2, but we've got over the next 3 evenings Division 1, the very top flight, the world's premier team competition between nations with all the big guns. It's going to be Hungary, Ukraine and Lithuania who join those big guns in 2025.
Yeah, so there's the full confirmed result. A world leading time, as we said, you can't read too much into those marks.
This is Heat B of the mixed 4x4. The mixed 4x4 is still a fairly new event to athletics, but I, for one, think it's tremendously entertaining. This mixed gender event, particularly when you're already in a team environment, and why not really showcase that?
It's the future, isn't it? Mixed sport.
It is, and we used to have male and female teams competing separately as well back in the day in the European Team Championship. So this kind of signifies that unity between the two sexes, between the two teams competing as one. Strong start from Mamedov of Azerbaijan. He's already overtaking Sargsyan of Armenia and Dragan Pesic of Montenegro, who's got to be absolutely exhausted. This is his 4th event in 3 days. This is Lani Volta of San Marino is just building momentum here. It's a long first leg. It will go through the finish line and on to the second leg runners. Mammadov at the moment leading the charge. Mammadov will pass off to Valieva. Not the biggest margin of lead there for Azerbaijan. Valieva is just pushing herself ahead of Chilian of Armenia. They're going to take the break on the back straight here, much like you would in an 800 metres. These women will glide across. It is Azerbaijan from Armenia, from San Marino, from North Macedonia. Valieva put a strong first 50 metres in to ensure she got this pole position. She's stretching away again here as they pass 150 metres to go. Chilian of Armenia is not giving up the chase. The third leg runners are down on the track. They're waving, they're clapping, they're cheering, willing these women on in this last 50 metres. Valieva doing well to keep her team in second place, but it's super close between Azerbaijan and Armenia.
Yes, so it's going to be Ali Abdiev of Azerbaijan against Gor Harutyunyan of Armenia. And Hannah, going into this race, there are still 5 teams in the overall standings that can realistically move up, and Armenia are one of them. They're in second place and they're 7 points overall behind Albania, so still a slim chance of moving up that one place. But look at these 2 neighbouring nations in similar blue vests as well, battling here. Harutyunyan, eyes ahead on Abdiev as they come through, shoulder to shoulder almost, with that one leg to go.
Oh, that was a good finish there from Harutyunyan of Armenia. He's put his team in the lead, and it is a spirited start from Alison Halvorsen of Armenia. You've seen her in action, I think, maybe already in the javelin. It's been a busy morning for a lot of these athletes. For Alison Halvorsen, we've only seen her run over 30-40 metres or so this morning, and here she is doing a full lap of the track, and she looks absolutely full of running. She goes through 200 metres, and this lead for Armenia is extending. Gulieva of Azerbaijan is firmly in second place now after good opening 3 legs from Azerbaijan. Armenia perhaps here saving their best for last. Alison Halvorsen grits her teeth. She hits 50 metres to go. The gap isn't widening anymore, but the damage was done. With a great changeover into Halvorsen. Great finish, and it's hugs all round for her and her teammates. The clock stopping at exactly 3.5 minutes. Sargsyan, Chilian, Harutyunyan and Halvorsen, and a winning quartet from Armenia. And it's been rounded down to 29.99 and season's best. And they look delighted at that. And you're right, Alex, it was a really good tactical run from Harutyunyan here. He's saving something from that last 50 is important. You want to get your nose ahead and be able to pass over without pressure there. Alison Halvorsen, that gave her that clear track. It can get so congested in 4x4s. But Alison Halvorsen didn't have to rely on that. It makes sense when you say she's a 4 hurdler as well, because this is a very good 400 for a javelin, for a javelin athlete, but she's proficient in many of the events here in athletics. There's the results of Heat B of the mixed 4x4. Season's best all the way down the card as you'd expect. Armenia in first, Azerbaijan in second, Kosovo in third, North Macedonia fourth, Montenegro fifth, and San Marino sixth.
Still, of course, don't forget, if you're new to watching over the last day or two, or perhaps to tune in for this morning, it is the aggregate result across A and B based on times rather than positions. Albania, Georgia, Andorra, Israel, Austria, Malta, Ireland and Bosnia in this A race. The last action of the third division. So now the cheer again to get these athletes going. Albania going very well right on the inside, and also Ireland on the other side of the track. Ireland have had 13 victories with one more remaining. I know their team is just a little bit weakened without Thomas Barr and Jack Raftery, but they will still hope to make it 14 in the final event of all. Austria also going nicely. We'll just sum up the competition if those two are closely matched here once again. So Roisin Harrison has been given the baton by Nelvin Appiah of Ireland, and then Lena Pressler of Austria taking over from Alessandro Greco. Israel, bit of work to do in third place with Shanai Zakai taking over from Eran Siboni. Split times coming up, in fact showing that the first leg was slightly faster for the Austrians, in fact 47.65. Harrison running a solid leg here. Just wonder how much has been saved for these final 50 metres by Lena Pressler. Going to be quite even as we head on to this third leg.
Good change over there between Harrison and Callum Baird of Ireland. Final man to run in this mixed 4x4, and he's gone tearing off. Baird got the baton in the lead, and he's put in, extended that gap over Koldorfer of Austria. He's in second place at the moment. The gap's still pretty large to Noah Mamu of Israel. These three teams stretching away. It's a bit of a burst here from Bosnia and Herzegovina. They're in fourth, but they're on the charge, and they're taking Andorra with them. The Israeli team have got to be careful here in the closing stages, but I think it's going to be a strong run here from Callum Baird. He's going to hand over to Charlene Maudsley, the individual champion, with surely an unbeatable lead in the final leg.
Terrific stuff from an athlete who has come in to replace the likes of Barr and Raftery, and look at Maudsley go as we see further back battles, Bosnia, Andorra, Georgia fighting over every single point, and that is what this competition is about. But Charlene Maudsley, in the competition which she made her name, helping Ireland to finish second in the second division behind Del Pont and Kambunji, a Swiss quartet, an incredible Swiss quartet when you think about it now, in 2017. And here she's on her way to lead Ireland to victory in the mixed 4x4, and also helping establish herself after that 51.5 individual win, saying that she wants to be part of future Irish relay quartets as well. What a victory for the Irish team overall in the standings and in the final event in 3:17.16 as Austria come through from Israel in third.
A lovely lead here. Be great to know what her split was all there on her own. She ran very well in that individual event. She would have looked at this start list and gone, Susan Gogan-Volley, it's a sub 51 second 400 metre, but 400 metre athlete. But by the time Charlene Maudsley got the baton, I'm sure she was confident she could maintain the lead for Ireland.
Yeah, it was helped by the great job that Baird had done. Textbook stuff, really. Make a good getaway and prevent the athlete behind you from feeling and sensing like there's much of an opportunity, unless they really give it their all. By that point that you're able to take a breather, that the lead is too big, and then you can just relax and unwind and give it everything you've got before it starts to really hurt down the home straight. And a big contingent of Irish athletes watching their team win this final event, the mixed 4x4, from Austria and from Israel. We'll see those standings in a moment. A European lead time as well for the Irish.